Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Michelle Mather, and I'm the founder of the Green Marketing Academy. Welcome to our next LinkedIn Live series, where we showcase change makers and leaders who are helping inspire climate activism and more sustainable and ethical marketing practices. So excited to have Edu of Someone Somewhere joining us today. Welcome. I'll hand it over to you to do a more thorough introduction to kick us off.
All right. Good morning, Michelle. Thank you very much for having me. We're very excited to be joining the conversation. My name is Eduardo. I go by Edu, and I've been at Someone Somewhere for about almost 9 months this year. And I lead the partnerships team. Prior to that, I was doing consulting for early stage startups, primarily those looking American or US companies trying to enter the Latin American market. Based on my previous experience, where I was an early employee at WeWork, I was working there for more than 7 years. I led the expansion into several cities in the US. I was also part of the expansion team in London, and I led the commercial team for WeWork in Latin America. So I was very focused on go-to-market and expansion and commercial responsibilities. But over the last 8, 9 months, I've been at Someone Somewhere.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for giving us your background too. And as usual, if there's anyone tuning in live, feel free to ask questions on LinkedIn. And if you're watching the recording after this, feel free to pop questions in the comments as well, and we'll make sure that one of us gets back to you. So, first question I have for you, Adu, is tell us your why. Why do you do this work? And you talked a little bit about how you got into it, but just a deeper context there.
Yeah, of course. So with the consulting work that I was doing prior to joining Someone Somewhere, I wanted to get involved in a project that I could be proud of because of the potential impact around the work that is done every day. I was looking also for industries that are becoming more important given the world's priorities, or projects that make sense to what I believe is needed most as we face challenges. And I was also very focused on being with a team that of people that have shown commitment to a particular project, and that they are very looking for innovative ways to do business. So I actually met the founders of Someone Somewhere back in 2018, when they participated in a program or a competition that was sponsored by WeWork. It was called the Creator Awards, and it was um, awards for companies that were doing some innovative project and that were carrying around social impact. So Someone Somewhere won one of the awards then back in 2018 in Mexico City. That's how I met Antonio, one of the founders, and I stayed in touch with him and looked for ways to collaborate. Once I left WeWork, I actually got the chance to meet one of the other founders, who's Fatima, who leads the impact team at Someone Somewhere, and we went together to one of the communities in Puebla, which is about 2 hours away driving from Mexico City. And I got to see the work that was being done by the artisans and the potential of connecting the artisans to a much larger supply chain. And after a couple of conversations, the opportunity opened up. And when the team, when Someone Somewhere was ready to look into expanding and setting up a commercial team that goes out and looks for large scale partnerships, it was the perfect opportunity for me to join. So that was February this year.
Great. And I have another question that I'm going to throw in this mix here. So, as we talk about Someone Somewhere and what's the mission and the vision of the company, I also would love to know, how did you land on the name? I see that you're wearing a shirt today that says the name too.
Yes.
Well done on that. But yeah, so I guess a three-part question on that we'll get into next.
All right. Yeah. So we are a Mexico-based social enterprise, and we have a mission of creating innovative products that integrate artisanal work to offer fair and constant job opportunities for artisans throughout Mexico. And it is primarily textile, or it has been primarily textile products that can be apparel or accessories or any type of textile product that is done through a combination of artisanal work and then an industrial process of manufacturing to get to the scale that we managed to do. And all the products are signed by the artisans that are involved in creating the product. And the name Someone Somewhere stands from someone who is the artisan that is behind the product, somewhere the communities that they call home, but also the users or the clients of the final piece where they can be wearing the piece of the product in the communities where they live, right? So we want to make a connection between how the products are created and where and by whom they're used around the world. So all the products have then also a QR code that you can scan where you learn more about the artisan, the community, and the artisanal technique that was used to create that product.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love when hearing a story behind a brand name and how it ties into, yeah, the story and the intention behind it. So yeah, I look forward to hopefully getting one of your products someday. And I work with another client in my fractional CMO capacity that supports makers made in the state of Washington, and I'd love to see that happen everywhere, Mexico, other countries, and just, putting putting the heritage and the art and just the traditions back to where they really came from and protecting that. So awesome. Uh, which of the UN Sustainable Development Goals is Someone Somewhere primarily focused on? And if you could provide a little explanation behind each one, that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, the company has been going for 10 years now, for a bit more than 10 years now, and it's always been with a strong focus on social development. The But as we started growing the operation, we also realized that um, there's more than 10 million artisans in Mexico. A big majority of this work with textile products, but the textile materials that they have access to and the textile industry in general is one of the has a lot of challenges around sustainability. So when we started growing the business, we realized that a real solution needed to involve social development, but also a lot about around sustainability. With that, we are now very much addressing 10 of the 17 goals. We're very much, all of our projects touch all of these of the Sustainable Development Goals, primarily, of course, around poverty, the reduction of poverty, gender equality. Most of the artisans that we work with are artisans in rural communities and primarily women and that are in around or living in poverty. So a lot of the work we do has direct impact over their opportunities for access to better economic means. And we also work would be I think goal number 4 around education. A lot of the programs we do to support their economic development and being able to start or their own businesses through the work that we do with them. When I was talking about the textile industry, we also feel there's a big chance for us to increase our impact around the access to water or preserving water resources. A lot of the products that we use are textile, are recycled threads that do not, and um, we can get to any color by combining existing threads without needing to dye the threads again. So there's a lot of opportunity for water conservation through the use of this recycled threads and the pedal loom technique. So I think there's those are the ones that we are mostly in touch. Then the last one, the 17, that talks about the need to do alliances around to actually get larger impact. We have been a B Corp for a long time. We are a climate neutral company. We work with governmental organizations, and our main area of scaling our impact is through large scale partnership with businesses. We want to make it easy for companies to adopt sustainable procurement practices as they've been doing traditionally, sourcing regular products. Through us, they can do procurement that has positive social impact and sustainable impact through the materials and the way that our products are made.
Well, thank you, Edu, for such a thorough answer on that, touching so many different areas, and like you said, making an impact as much as you can with those goals. So thank you. And we talk about this a lot on the LinkedIn Lives, but using that as a guiding framework. But I've seen it the other way around too, where I've talked to the team at UN Sustainable Development Goals that helps work on those, and all of them are inspired by, I mean, the reverse of the work that everyone's doing. So I hope to see that list of, continue to grow, of people adopting that as a framework and vice versa. Yeah. What do you feel is the greatest impact that your role, or it could be your team's role, has when it comes to encouraging not only more sustainable marketing practices, but more ethical marketing practices as well?
I think we're in as someone somewhere, we're in a privileged position in the sense that we've been able to develop products that help solve a lot of the um, issues that large companies are facing around their commitments to sustainability. Um, and we've found ways to create products that are using sustainable materials, and they are generating fair and constant opportunities for artisans, and in a way that doesn't necessarily need a lot of changes on the company's side to actually move from shipping hundreds of thousands of products from Asia to actually get them delivered from Mexico on a steady basis with products that are very much in touch with what clients want to see. Right? There's a movement of, or there's a growing audience of customers or consumers that want to know where their products are made, that they want to know that they're made in an ethical way, that they can share the story of the brand that is behind it, and that they are aligned also with the values. So when we get the chance to connect artisans that are very far away from where these decisions are made or where these products are being consumed, but by being able to put actually their name, their signature, their communities where they work, it just puts together so many of the goals that both companies and and users or consumers have. That is a great is a is an easy way, although there's a lot of stuff behind, but it just makes sense because you can tell the whole story, and it is evident through the name, through and through the route that the products are following.
Yeah. I'm sure you feel the same way as I do on this, but as a society in general, no matter what country, we've gotten away from products really tying back to this was made by a person or a human, and
Hmm.
has that storytelling component. So I love that someone somewhere is really focused on, again, telling the story behind why this is important to someone or why this is important culturally. It's just, yeah, I wish we would all take that approach, and just not mindlessly ordering things off the internet and just really, I call it again, voting with your dollar, and just investing in higher quality. And so it's going back to someone somewhere, tying back in the name. We had a comment come through about the recycled. You can get whatever color by combining recycled threads of different colors. Yeah, that was a really
Yeah,
good thing.
this is something, and I get, and people in my team would be able to get much more into the details. But one of the interesting things with recycled threads is that sometimes the fibers uh, are much shorter,
Mhm.
and traditional machines are not able to handle these threads. So the composition of products that you can do with recycled products is not as everyone would want in terms of the feel or the quality. But with and this is proprietary process that we've been able to develop with industry. We can do post consumer or pre consumer waste. We get that, we separate, we sort, and we create new threads in Mexico. Those threads are sent to the artisans in different communities in Mexico. And with the pedal loom artisanal technique, the artisans have much more sensitivity and are able to use the threads in ways that in traditional machines cannot. So with the pedal loom, we can create hundreds of thousands of different combinations of colors, textures, patterns, and feelings. Then this fabric is sent to Mexico City, where we make them into backpacks, handbags, or any type of accessories that we put. And to give more context, we put these products to sell either as a direct to consumer, and we have online store in the US and in Mexico. But most of our sales and our opportunities for growth and for impact are partnering with large companies that want to replace products that they've been traditionally buying in industrial waste to products made in Mexico with social impact and with sustainable materials.
Yeah, super interesting. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And I know there's more information about that a bit on your website too, as I was looking around. From a
and
high level, like you said. Could
yeah, and we
probably
want
go ahead.
and one of the some of the areas where we've gotten a lot of traction is understanding how a traditional product is made. What are the materials that go into it? What is the process that goes? How long it takes to ship?
Mhm.
How long are how big the orders need to be so that you can actually get you can fulfill the MOQs. And then we just realized that we can transform this into much better materials, and transparency of how the products are made, and just be closer to the users, and be able to make productions that make sense for the market that we're seeing.
Great. Yeah, I encourage everyone who's watching or listening in later, check out their website. There's so much more information on all the areas that they're touching with regards to sustainability. And I think you all do a very good job at that. I look at a lot of different just sustainability pages and commitments on different websites, and I think someone somewhere has done a great job on that. Last question I have is, tell our audience how we can best support you and someone somewhere and get connected or stay in touch.
Well, we're always looking for more opportunities to scale our operations and therefore our impact, and being able to work with more artisans in Mexico and textile workers as well. And the way that we do that is by partnering with more companies that are looking to get into sustainable procurement practices, and therefore buy their corporate swag or the corporate merch, their end of year gifts, and instead of giving something that normally goes unused or gets thrown away,
Yeah.
give a product that has a story behind it and that was made in ethical and sustainable ways. So we have products, and we can take orders from 100, 150 pieces, but we've also been partnering with large companies around the world, airlines, hotels, companies in the fashion industry, and we do hundreds of thousands of pieces on a monthly basis. So we can actually run from something that is very simple out of our catalog to developing a product. So if you know anyone that is taking and has a, a goal of increasing the reliability and the strength of their supply chain with sustainable practices, we'll be very happy to meet. And in terms of contact, we have a very active LinkedIn presence. Someone somewhere as the company page. Antonio Nuno, one of our founders, is always posting very exciting or content to actually challenge the way
Yep.
things are done traditionally. And Fatima is posting a lot about the opportunities of social development through these kind of partnerships. So I would guess that that's the best way. And I'm always sharing content also around the opportunity that businesses have to adopt in not without too much hassle, much better sustainable procurement practices. So either the three of our pages or the someone somewhere page on LinkedIn would be the best options.
Great. I'm really excited to check out your store, and it's timely that we're talking about this because the major holidays are coming up, and I always encourage people that are looking for different types of gifts is, again, like, don't buy them on Amazon. Spend some time researching, get something that's going to be really meaningful for someone, and go with someone like someone somewhere. Well, thank you so much. I will link both of, or all three of your LinkedIn profiles rather, in the our show notes here, and also your LinkedIn page as well, and your store, so everyone can find it right after or at the bottom of this recording. But thank you so much for joining us, Eduardo. It was such a great conversation. I am grateful that you reached out on LinkedIn to me and we connected in that way. And looking forward to following along with someone somewhere and all the incredible work that you're all doing. So thank you again for just your commitment to people and the planet.
Thank you, Michelle. It's been great to talk to you and your audience.
Great. Well, we are actually taking a break from LinkedIn Lives until the new year now. This will be our last one. We just take the month of December off because things quiet down. And so we'll see everyone back in 2025. Thanks for joining us.